Man almost died after taking part in white-collar boxing match for charity. A young engineer was left fighting for his life in hospital after taking part in a charity white-collar boxing match. Ben Sandiford's family were warned he could be permanently disabled after he suffered a bleed on the brain and 2 heart attacks following the bout. Now his family have called for a ban on white-collar boxing and believe the 20-year-old would have died if they had not found him after the event at Crewe Hall, Cheshire. Aspiring model Ben said, "I can remember the fight but I can't remember how many times I was hit. He didn't really go for my body much. I had my head guard on but I think that makes you a bigger target. I think they could have spotted how quickly I was fading as the match went on." Ben, who had 16 hours of training, was hoping to raise money for Cancer Research UK when he took part in the amateur sporting event, ultra white-collar boxing. He was punched to the ground during the 3rd round and the fight was stopped as ambulance staff from a private firm treated him, but his family were so worried they rushed him straight to A&E. Hours later he suffered a massive seizure and 2 cardiac arrests, given CPR and put on a ventilator in a critical care unit. Scans shows a contusion to his frontal left lobe, and a bleed on the brain behind the back of his neck. Ben added, "The medics told me go and get checked out in hospital but within 24 hours I was in cardiac arrest twice. It has been tough. My mum was warned I might be disabled, or might not make it." Mum of 4 Kirsty said, "If I had been a naive parent I would have taken him home and he would have died in his bed. We arrived at the event and found Ben bloodied and stumbling around the grounds. I wouldn't want any other family to go through this. To any excitable or challenging young person who is thinking they will be okay, it might not be. If 2 experienced nurses hadn't been on the ward to revive him, Ben would have died." Grandmother Rosine has written to local MP Laura Smith in the licensing department at East Cheshire Council to call for an investigation, which ultra white-collar boxing is cooperating with. She said, "He had no boxing experience whatsoever, he was interested in raising money for charity. This unregulated boxing has to be banned." Ben was wearing a helmet but it obviously didn't work. Ben had been saying he was alright, but it wasn't for him to decide that. An MRI scan showed no permanent brain damage or trauma but he was kept in hospital for a total of 17 days. Rosine said, "The prognosis is several months rehabilitation and his return to work will be in phased stages. We are refurbishing a room downstairs so Ben can move in and not have to deal with stairs." 2 men forced girls into prostitution and raped them over 20-year period. London violence reaches new low as woman, 90, is attacked in her own bed. Police foil terror plot after making serious discovery in raid on house in Manchester. Founder of ultra white-collar boxing, John Leonard, said Ben was alert and thinking clearly during an assessment by medics and suffering no signs of neurological deficit so his condition was not classed as an emergency. Mr. Leonard said the family wanted to make their own way to hospital as he was standing outside getting some fresh air and stated he had no pain anywhere. He added, "Since the event we have been in touch with the family to offer our full support. As with all our events, health and safety is paramount and we will always look to put participants' best interests at the center of everything we do. More, lifelike sex robots might not be a very good idea. More, asylum seeker on the run after girl, 14, is raped and murdered.